Hello guys, this is onlyabidoang and today I'm gonna be showing you all types of magic spells and its failures in the Sims 4 Realm of Magic game pack. Spellcasters are the new occult type in this game pack. Once you've become one, you can cast spells, but you need to learn them first. You can learn them by practicing magic yourself, asking one of the 3 magic sages to teach you, reading the corresponding magic tome, or dueling with other spellcasters for knowledge. Keep in mind that all spells requires you to be in a specific spellcaster rank. There are 24 magic spells in total. Now let's get to all types of them, shall we? First off, let's start with the practical type spells. First spell on the list is called Repairio. If you cast this spell on broken objects, it will be fixed immediately. It can also restore objects that were caught on fire back to normal. Besides that, you can also use this spell on crafted objects such as this exquisite piece of painting to make their quality better. If you fail to do this spell, the objects, whether it be normal broken objects or crafted objects, will be engulfed in fire instead. The Scruberoo spell is another one. If done on someone, they will be clean and their hygiene will be fulfilled. The same thing happens when you cast it on yourself. Besides that, it can also be used to clean things, like cleaning a dirty object, removing a puddle of water, etc. The failure outcome won't clean the object and another puddle of water will be summoned instead. If you click on the floor, you can access the Delicioso spell. If you cast it, a random plate of food will be summoned with normal or excellent quality. But if it fails, a random spoiled food will be summoned instead. This spell can also be used on spoiled food to increase its quality and make it fresh again. But if you fail to do that, the food will be turned into a useless pile of ash. Another variant of the spell called Grand Delicioso can be casted to summon a large plate of random meal with 8 servings. Gardeners might find this next spell useful. If you have any plants, you can cast the Flora L'Oreal spell on plants that are dry, infested by bugs, and or full of weeds. If successful, those problems will be alleviated immediately. But if you fail to cast the spell, the targeted plant will die instead. Next on the list is the Transportalate spell. If you click on an area that's far enough from your current one, you can cast this spell and your sim will then be teleported to the destination. If it fails, you'll still be teleported there, but your sim will fall into the ground instead. You can also set this spell to always be used as an automatic mean of transportation. If you have objects like food, plants, gems, metals, potions, or any other collectibles, you can use the Copypasto spell on them to duplicate them. If successful, 1 or 2 additional clones of the item will appear, but if you fail to do this, the object will be turned into a pile of ash instead. Another useful spell for gardeners alike is called Repairio. If casted, a random plant with normal or high quality will be summoned on the ground. If it fails, a trash plant will be summoned instead. Yes, a literal trash plant that are able to produce tiny trash bags as its fruit. Besides that, this spell can also be used on dead plants to revive them. But if it fails, the dead plant will be destroyed. You can cast this spell called Homewardial as well. If you choose Transportalate to the Magic Realm interaction, your sim and other sims you've invited will be immediately transported into the Magic Realm without needing to go to the portal. If you fail to cast the spell, your sims will still be transported there, but they will arrive wearing ridiculous outfits like a towel or a costume. The final spell requires you to ask the practical magic sage once you've reached the highest spellcaster rank. It's called Rite of ASCENSION. You can use it on non-spellcaster sims and offer them to be casted with this spell. If they accept it, the sim will then be turned into a spellcaster. This spell will always succeed, so there's no failed outcome. Besides that, non-spellcaster sims can ask spellcasters who've learned the spell to cast it to them. Now let's move on to the mischief type spells. First on the list is the Repairio spell. If you cast it on a sim, they will gain this plus 10 sad moodlet for a few hours and become very sad. But if it fails, it'll backfire and you'll be the one feeling very sad instead. Next is the Deliriate spell. If you use it on someone, the sim will obtain this dazed moodlet for 2 hours or more, and if it's still in effect, the sim will wander around aimlessly. You won't be able to cancel their action until the moodlet expires. If you fail to cast the spell, you'll be the one wandering aimlessly instead. After that is the Furio spell. You can cast it on a sim and then choose another target for them. If it's successful, the first sim will immediately start a fight with the second sim. If it fails, however, the first sim will have you as their fighting opponent instead. This next spell is a bit similar, although functions the opposite. If you cast the Infatuate spell on a sim and then choose another sim as the second target, they both will begin kissing immediately. But if this spell fails, the first sim will kiss you instead. Well, that actually sounds more like a success than a failure to me, unless maybe when the one you're kissing with is a xenomorph that'll eat your face out instead. This other spell is called Burgliate. If you go to other places other than your home, you can click on objects and cast this spell on it. If you succeed, the object will now be yours and can be found in your household inventory. You'll also gain this moodlet for 4 hours, which also acts as a cooldown before you can cast this spell again. Do be careful, because if someone witnesses you casting the spell, you'll still acquire the object, but you'll instead gain this 8 hours moodlet, which means you'll have a longer cooldown than before. If the spell fails, the object will be turned into ash instead. If you cast this spell called Morphiate on someone, the targeted sim will be turned into an inanimate object for a period of time. It can be a cactus, a knight armor, a fruit bowl, or even this dead bast. Unfortunately, you can sell this object in buy mode to gain some of their cash. Yeah, what a bummer. Anyway, after 2 to 4 hours, they will turn back into normal. If the spell fails, however, it'll backfire. This final spell on the Mischief Magic type also requires you to ask the Mischief Magic Sage once you've reached the highest spellcaster rank. The Strangeify spell, if casted on someone, will turn their appearance into this horrifying green-skinned ugliness for around 3 to 5 hours. Anyone talking with this sim will always reject their social interaction or even puke just by the sight of them. If the spell fails, the caster will be the one getting the effect. That's it for the Mischief Magic. Now let's get on to the final magic type called the Untamed Magic. First spell on this magic type is Inverniate. If you cast this spell, it will start a fire on the target. It can be on the ground, on a specific object, or even at another sim. But if you cast it on sims, it'll only happen for a while and then the victim will still live after that. So if you want to become a true wizard murderer, be sure to cast it on the floor below the target so they will die for real. If it fails, you'll be the one getting caught on fire, but it won't be fatal like before. The next spell is called Zip Zap. You can use this spell on sims to electrify them as a rather harmless prank. Besides that, you can also use this on objects to break them intentionally. If it fails, you'll be the one getting zapped instead. This other spell is called Necrocall, and you need to cast it on an occupied tombstone or urn. If casted, the ghost of that particular tombstone will be summoned immediately and you can directly interact with them. But if it fails, the ghost will still be summoned, but they will beat you up right after. And not long after fighting, they will return back to their tombstone. If you like cold stuff, you might appreciate the Chilio spell. If done on a sim, the target will get frozen solid. They will be frozen for quite a while, but you can melt them immediately by casting the Inverniate spell. You can also cast this spell on a fire to put it out. If you fail to do this spell, it'll backfire and you'll be frozen solid. After that is the Minionize spell. If you cast it on other people, they will get this dazed moodlet for 4 to 8 hours. While still having this moodlet, the caster can command them to do certain actions like cleaning the house, making a food, or sleeping. But if you think it's enough, you can snap them out of it to turn them back to normal. If the spell fails, the target will yell at your sim instead. The Decursify spell is pretty self-explanatory. It can be used to remove one curse that your spellcaster has. If you have more than one curses and want to remove another one, you need to wait for a while before using the spell again. If the spell fails, you will get another new curse instead. This next spell can only be targeted to ghosts. If you cast the Decursify spell on them, they will be turned back to their physical original form. Keep in mind that this won't add them to your household. If it fails, however, the caster will be the one getting transformed into a ghost. This ghost state will only happen temporarily. The final spell on the list is the Duplicato spell. Again, learning this spell also requires you to ask the Untamed Magic Sage once you've reached the highest spellcaster rank. This spell can be casted on yourself, and if it succeeds, an almost exact clone of yourself will then be summoned. I say almost because they will have a random different first name for some reason. Anyway, you can command this clone to do stuff such as cleaning the house, cooking some food, or even starting a fight with someone. After several hours, the clone will vanish from existence. If the spell fails, an evil clone will be summoned instead. They can't be ordered to do stuff, but they will instead use magic to break objects around the house, be mean to you, and even fight you. So those are all the spells that you can cast as a spellcaster in the Sims 4 realm of magic. I really hope you can find this video helpful. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you want to watch more types of Sims videos like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. See you later!